What is going on, everyone? My name is Northy, and we've got another exciting round 13 preview. Sorry, not preview, review. Man, it's so hard to get. Every time I mess it up, I swear, it is such a horrible, thing that keeps happening. But nonetheless, we're going to ignore that. And we've got the round 13 review coming up for you guys that I'm excited to show off to you guys. It's been a good week. As Teamcoach has mentioned, I got the long weekend wrong. I had mentioned that it was a long week when it was a Monday. The buggers. But nonetheless, this week, I've got the last laugh. I have the last laugh. I am the winner, and I'm excited to show it off to you guys. So, let's get into this one. Before we do, as per usual, be sure to leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Everything is always very much appreciated, and become a member if you really enjoy what you see on the channel. It's always very much appreciated. So, without further ado, let's jump into the exciting round 13 review. Woo, man, I love the look of it every single time. It never stops me from smiling, man. Prize winner for round 13. You can see which game mode it was as well. I'm a happy boy. I'm very happy, and I know a lot of other people who had tuned into the stream last night as well also told me that I had won and that they had won, and so it's nice hearing all the success stories from around the world, or around Australia really. I don't imagine many worldwide viewers playing this game, but we did well. That's all that matters. That's all we care about. So let's have a look. Where are we going to start? I think tips is probably the best place to start because tips never goes well for us. Let's have a look at our round 13 tips, and yeah, that's about right. So some ones that we got right: Carlton beating Essendon, Collingwood beating Melbourne, and Sydney beating Geelong. I got the upset tip right. I got the Hawthorn over the Giants. I thought that would be the case. I think Hawthorn's form had been really good, and Giants away from home and pretty much anywhere inside Victoria have seemed to struggle. Hawthorn picked them off by a goal. I'm very happy I got that one correct. Then the other ones, Gold Coast just losing to St Kilda. I am, like many people, I'm starting to see a trend with Gold Coast in that they are absolutely awful away from home. And yeah, this kind of shows it. St Kilda side that were absolutely beatable, they lost by 3 points to. So I don't know how to feel about that one, but I mean, it's just tips at the end of the day. The Dogs ended up losing by a long shot to the Lions, which honestly, the Lions should have been like this for a long time, but it shows the flip-flop nature of the Dogs. Have amazing weeks one week and then lose to a team outside of the 8 the next week. It's just classic Dogs at this point. Adelaide losing to Richmond was kind of embarrassing. That was a really, really embarrassing loss for Adelaide at home as well. Without Dusty too, man, it's going to be hard for Adelaide to kind of find their way back into it. And then finally, North Melbourne picked up their I don't care that it's wrong. North Melbourne picked up their first win for the season. They didn't have Harley Reid. They didn't have Tim Kelly, but it doesn't matter. A win's a win. We know that our season is gone. We know there's no point. It was just about making sure it wasn't winless, and we've done that now. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm a very happy boy this week, and I think it doesn't matter what my tips were. I'm just happy that North Melbourne are finally winners. So that's all I can really hope for. But we are done here. There's nothing really to worry about with tips now. There's just not much to really worry about in general with tips, but we'll move to Star Powers, and Star Powers was, it was so tough. It was so tough. We did really well for the most part. I think the usuals, like Nick Martin had a great game, 120 from him. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Maxi Gawn with 148. My God, amazing. So good. Whitfield, 123. Oh my God, how could this get any better? Merritt even dropped the 100, even with the Chincotta tag. Like, that's not bad at all. Really good stuff here. And then Nick Dacos with 62 points. Our mighty let us down. And we have Errol Goulden, man. He's been doing so well, Dacos, to getting that injury when he was he had a pretty low start. In terms of individual performance, he wasn't looking very impressive whatsoever, but then that injury at the very end of the third quarter really just cemented it. Got no points in the fourth quarter. Ended up being a 62-point performance. Just so tough, man. That is so unfortunate. And that's just the way we've got to deal with it, because he gave us rank 79. We would have had so many more points. He just needed to get to the 600s, man. We would have had a spot. Just needed to score 100 points. We would have been happy. It's just the way it goes. It's just the way it goes. We can't really do much about it now. But yeah, there's a prize card that unfortunately goes by the wayside. And then we move elsewhere to Ultra. You can see here, we had our double points Dacos, that was so heartbreaking. And with Neon Logan McDonald we had the double points golden. 151 would have been 300 points. We got Warner's, which is 200 points there. Very nice to see. Tom Stewart, 78. Would have been nice if we had Whitfield in there over Dacos, but there was no way I was making that in hindsight, making that change. Our next gen pick was our best one. I told you, Nick Martin, the pick up there was amazing. Such a good pickup he has been for our team and already showing why he is very much worth it. And I think Max Gawn has to be my next double points pickup. He just has to be, because Maxi Gawn has been doing so well this season, so consistently. It just has to be the case. It just has to be. So I'm going to look to try and pick him up at some point. But we look at our Ultra, 790 points. Nowhere near as close as we were in the silver spots. But that's also because, like, silver, we were just, like, one person off. Even though we had a higher rank in silver, like, it definitely felt like we were much closer there than we were here. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. Nothing we can really do now. And, yeah, it's just an unfortunate week. Once again, just one person, really. It's just a one person who had an unfortunate situation, and it's caused us to drop that week in the star powers department. I'm not sure if we're missing out on any cards at the moment. I'm looking at these prize cards, and I think everyone who's blacked out, yeah, oh, this is the wrong one. Anyways, all the ones that are blacked out, yeah, it's just Braden Maynard. So we're still okay for the moment. Obviously, we want to stop ourselves from, you know, missing out at any point. But just a very, very, very tough week for Star Powers. We'll look over at top team now, though, and there were some even tougher things happening here. God bless Max Gawn, man. God bless Max Gawn. He is just a trusty pick. I saw all the performances all week. I'm like, man, I could have picked Sherry this week. He's been doing really well just individually as of late. Could have picked him up. But Max Gawn, 148 points. He goes to show why he's such a safe pick so often. Heaney, once again, showing why he's a safe pick too. Hipwood took out the best honors this week, which is quite rare from him. Larky even finding himself up there this week. So good to see him back. so good. There we are, 107 points. Good to see. And yeah, the disappointments were these two. We've already talked about Dacos, his unfortunate injury that had him drop 62 points. Definitely a reason why we wouldn't have won. And then we also look at Sammy Walsh, who after we thought he was going to be consistent and helpful for us, dropped 79. I can't win. Very, very unlucky this year for me, man. Like, the likes of Dawson after his poor week last week, now dropping 124. I guarantee you he has a poor week next week. But Errol is starting to pick my eye again. He's starting to show some really good form as of late. Obviously, there's a lot of players on that Sydney squad that could take the possessions and all of that away from him. But when Heaney's also scoring 108, you feel like, yeah, they can share it. Warner had 100. Like, that midfield is just, oh my God, it is crazy. Add in the likes of Rowbottom, who is just fierce amongst everybody. It's just a dominant Sydney side, and that's why I feel a little more confident than most in picking that Sydney midfield. And there's not many to pick from next week, so there's a good chance that we will be going with a majority Sydney lineup next week. But I'll have a look at the score first. I feel like that's probably helpful. We check here, 139, definitely not what we were hoping for. Just a tad under 100 per player, which is actually okay. It's a lot better than I thought it would end up being. But it's definitely not what we wanted. We're still rank 1 though. Still rank 1. That's all we've got at the moment. We've just got to hope and pray that we claw ourselves into this top 1 or this first place position for the rest of the season. I feel like we're holding on by a thread at the moment. These midfield picks are ruining me. I only can hope that it's ruining everyone else. That's all I can hope for. But we will just have to live and learn, keep going, and hopefully do better next year. Sorry, next week. Next year is a long way away. That is a long way away. But yeah, we just got to get this midfield down, man. I'm really not stressed about anywhere else. There's pretty common people we can always pick from, but it's just this damn midfielder. So frustrating every week. But then we got to top 18, and where we saw at the start, this is where we were winners. You can see here Nick Newman, who we got in. He looked like he was going to have an amazing game to start. Only dropped the 87, but that's honestly not terrible. I'm not too stressed. But the likes of Sinclair popping off in the way he did definitely hurts. Sinclair with 117 after we took him out. Very unfortunate, very unfortunate. Liam Baker did okay with a 99. You can see he's just outside the top 6, so he's still worth the pick. I'm not mad at that. Whitfield topped the week, which is a great sign to see. Bailey Dale with a bit of a meh performance for his standard, but then again, pretty much everyone on the doggies were kind of meh. And yeah, we've talked about Dacos. Again, he's just everywhere this week. I think he's in literally every game mode, and so very unfortunate when he has himself a bad game, because at lets us down everywhere. It definitely scares us a fair bit. But backline was okay for the most part. It's just nice to have the best player for the backline in our squad at least. But we move into the midfielders. Obviously, we talked about Max Gawn. Great week for him. Nick Martin, great week for him as well. The Bond with 93 is okay, but nothing too crazy. Thankfully, we've already talked about Sam Walsh. These three did very, very well. Merritt started off a bit poor, worked his way back in with 100 points. That is respectable. We will take it. Golden topped the week. We talked about him. Thankfully, we put him in at the right time. Just amazing. And Martin also had himself a great game too. Just like St. Dawson, as soon as we take him out, he has a great game. I feel like the more we can just knuckle down and keep the same players each week, we'll catch them on a good week. There's just some things that I've learned from this week that I need to bring into next one, like whoever is up against Carlton. One of their better midfielders is always going to be tagged by Cincotta with the way he's playing. Cincotta has been so good for so many weeks. Obviously, Merritt did start to break out towards the end, but he had Merritt to maybe I think he had 3 disposals by the end of the first, and they were very, very scruffy disposals. So I've got to look out for midfielders who play against Carlton, but that's the extent that I'm kind of coming to in that sense. But then we moved to the forward line, and forwards were pretty good too. My risky pick in Darcy Fogarty was not that bad at all. 87 points, even though they did come away with a surprising loss. I can't be mad at that. 87 points is very, very good to see. Cozzy, of course he's done well here. He was having a poor week when we picked him, and then obviously dropped 95 against the Pies there. Shea had himself an game, nothing crazy, but there's some that look like they need to be changed up soon. Mackay with the surprising 50. Didn't expect that at all. Kerno, I'm not sure how well Kerno did. Yeah, not that much better. Neither of the Carlton boys really popped off. Yeah, they just had a tough time really getting themselves involved in that game against Essendon, but yeah, managed to pull away with the win. I'm just glad that some of my risks paid off. I think if they didn't, then it would have been a bit of an interesting week for sure. Some surprises were definitely Brisbane's forwards doing as well as they did against the Dogs with how well they've been doing as of late, so I don't imagine many people had picked them. But we look at the ladder, we came 5th. There were so many things here and there that looked risky that we didn't know would do well, and we've ended up having ourselves a really good week here. 5th place. We ended up beating the only person on the leaderboard who's above us right now. We are 4th so far for the season in top 18, and that has improved dramatically over the last month. That has been a very, very drastic improvement. I think we were 9th at one point, so now getting this top 5 position in it again shoots us up to 4th. I think we were 5th or 6th before, so 4th is an amazing outcome here. It's just what we need at this moment. We just need to keep chipping away. It's going to be so tough to do so against the likes of this JP dude who is in the first position right now, because we only gained 7 points on him. And when you're a solid, 850 to 900 behind, sure, it's nice to beat him, but it's not by that much, and there's a good chance that he keeps that up for a long time. So we just got to try and have some outrageously good weeks wherever we can. It's tough to do so, it really is. It does come down to luck sometimes, but we just got to keep our top 1 position in top 4. That's where we really are searching for. But with that being said, I'm going to go and collect my prize card. I think now is the perfect time to do so. I feel like I deserve it. Let's see. I don't know who I'm going to pick next. So many potentially good pickups here. I really want to stay away from Horn Francis. I think Bailey Smith may be a good pickup here or there. Jack Steele could be a good one too. Obviously, we want to pick up Simpkin at some point. I think once we hit the rounds in 20, I will try and pick him up as soon as possible. But for the moment, we're still sticking with the rest of them. I want to try and get the more popular ones as soon as possible. And I think for this one, I'm going to go ahead and pick up Bailey Smith. I think Bailey Smith is the go-to here. Or Sam Doherty. Oh god, this could be a big mistake, but I'm going to pick up Bailey Smith. And there we go. Bailey Smith has been picked up. Hopefully, I'm not going to regret that with Sam Doherty being on the table still. I feel like a lot of people would have picked him up. You can see we won Petrarca and we won Dacos, and they both are unavailable to pick up, so we made good decisions there. But how many have we got now? We got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the top team prize cards, and we are just over halfway through the season. So on track for 8, I feel like, of the top team ones. And then the star powers, we had an amazing start, but now we've tied it. We've tied the star powers as well. So 4 star powers, 4 of the top team prize cards won. On track for about 16 prize cards won this year. That is crazy. But I am a very happy boy. I'm very happy with winning a prize card any week. Anyways, that is all we've got for this week's review. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Everything, again, is always very much appreciated. I also want to hear what you guys did this week. How did you go? Did you win any prize cards? Did you end up coming first? And I may have missed you. I apologize if I did. I know that Cooper had won one this week, so shout out to you. But I appreciate every single one of you nonetheless, and yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.